So today is the first time I did a fire drill at the middle school. I've only taught this class, this is my second year over here. So I didn't realize that, like, I'm supposed to kind of collect all of you guys when we go over there and then make sure everybody's here. So if that happens in the future, just make sure you find me so I can kind of make sure everybody's here, okay? All right, so let's continue on. So on Friday we did one prism on Friday. And then today I'm just gonna go over the formulas again, and then we'll go over pyramids, cylinders, and cones, okay? So when I look here, on Friday we talked about the fact that I always choose for a prism the bottom rectangle. And I think you guys all know now that P is the perimeter of that bottom rectangle and that these two sides are equal as well as those two. The H is how tall your prism is, and your capital B is the area of that base. So capital B would be length times width, where this is length, this is width for both of those, okay? With a regular pyramid, we talked on Friday that these are always going to be squares on the base. So because of that, we can assume all four of those sides are equal, okay? P is perimeter of that base, so you would just, they would all be the same. So if this was 4, you could go 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, or 4 times 4. And then we talked on Friday about the fact that a pyramid has 2 different heights. We have a height that goes from the center to the middle of that bottom base, and we call that H for height. And then we have a slant height that's on one of the triangles. Okay, it's right on that face, and that one is slanted, and we call that a cursive L. Okay, a small cursive L. P again is just going to be 4 times whatever your side is, and then B. So in this one, you can really think of this as these 4 are all equal. So your perimeter you could think of as 4 times that side, and your base you can do side squared or side times side. Okay. All right. Then when we do a cylinder, you need the radius and the height. And I was saying on Friday that these might look a little intimidating to you, but I think you're gonna find it's much easier. You're just substituting in and putting it into your calculator. A cone again has a straight up and down height that is perpendicular, and then it has a slanted height that is your L. So you can see it down here on this. The straight up and down height is H. This slanted height is your L. And then if we go back up here, we're gonna also be looking at possibly some spheres, and these are the formulas for that, okay? So if I go down, you guys did a prism on Friday. Do you feel like you need to go through another example like that, or did you guys understand prisms? Everybody okay with them, or everybody okay? All right, so let's skip to B, okay? And we're gonna do a pyramid. Now, one of the first things that you might wanna do here is just remember that the base is always a square when you have a pyramid. Okay? So, if we look here, we're gonna assume all of these are 6. All right? The other thing that you might want to do right away is decide which one is your regular height and which one's your slant height. Is the 4 my H or my L? The H, right? That's your straight up and down one. The 5 is your slanted height, so that is your L, right? Now, what I'm gonna do is put up my formula for this, and it is 1/2 perimeter times my slant height plus capital B, which is area of the base, okay? So here is what we are going to do. We are going to put in, I have to find my perimeter of that base, and I have to find the area of that base. Do you guys get that all of these are 6? So I could either for my perimeter go 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6, or 4 times 6, however you want to do that, okay? And that would be 24, and that is in centimeters. All right, now what we have to do is find the area of that base, and we have a square. Now, you can either think of it as length times width, where this would be your length and this would be your width, and just go 6 times 6. Or I also wrote on the previous page, you could think of each of these as S's because they're the sides and they're all equal. And it would be side times side. Either way you can think of it like that. So we're gonna go 6 times 6, which is 36. And that is my area of my base. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna substitute in what I know on this formula. So I'm finding the surface area. For 1/2, I'm just gonna use 0.5. My perimeter I found right here, that is 24. My slant height is right here, that is my 5. And then it's plus the area of the base, which is right here, which is 36. Okay, and then you're just gonna go ahead and type that into your calculator. So you're gonna just do 0.5 times 24 times 5 plus 36, and you can type it in exactly how it looks. Did you guys get 96 when you did it? Yeah. This thing is taking a while to come out, but you should get 96. So this would be 96, and it would be square centimeters. Okay? So I've found what my surface area is. Now what I need to do is I need to find what the volume is. Okay, so I'm gonna write that formula down, and it is 1/3 area of our base times our height. Okay, so we're gonna go 1/3. The area of our base is the 36. Now the height, the normal height, is going to be this one right here, the 4. So you have to make sure you know when to use the H and when to use the height. Now, I have never shown you guys how to do a fraction on a calculator. And this works whether you're using the one like with mine, or if you're using a graphing one. But what you can do is you can put a fraction into your calculator as like in parentheses as a division problem. So here's what it would look like. You would go parenthesis, 1 divided by 3 parenthesis. And that works on any calculator that you use. And that is better than doing like 0.33, because if you do 0.33, your answer is going to be a little bit off from the book, okay? So whenever you have a fraction this year, that is the way to put it in. If you have the CE version of a calculator, there is one other way to do a fraction, and I'll show you that in a second. So I'm going to just finish this and go times 36 times 4, and we get 48, and that is in volume, so it's centimeters cubed, like that, okay? Now, I want to show you guys how to do a fraction one other way, but this only works if you have the CE version of the calculator, okay? Do you guys see this little thing above the xt theta n? It looks like a fraction, okay? How you can get that, you guys, is you can hit alpha and then that key, and that will give you a fraction. Then what you're gonna do is put in 1, and then you have to use your down arrow to get to the bottom, and you put in your 3. Now, here's the trick with this. Your cursor is stuck on the bottom of this right now, so what you would have to do is hit this right arrow to get it away from there, and that is 1/3 then. And then you could go times 36 times 4, and our answer is 48. So those of you that have the CE version, you have a choice which one to do. If you don't have the CE version, then you have to do the parenthesis 1 divided by 3 parenthesis. Or if you have like something similar to this, you have to do the parenthesis 1 divided by 3, okay? So, everybody understand that kind then? All right, let's move to a cylinder, okay? And I think these are easier than what you have been doing. So in a cylinder, you have to know what is the radius of the circle and what is the height of that cylinder. So if I go back over here, do you guys get that the 6 is your radius of that circle base? So this is my radius. The height of the cylinder is how tall it is, and so that's going to be this. That cylinder is laid on its side, but that is the height of it. So the radius is of the circular base, and then there's the height. Now that you know that, let's just go ahead and write our formula down. And on this assignment, please do not just write an answer. I want to see work, okay? So what we're going to do here is just plug in what we know. So we're going to go 2 pi. My radius is 6. My height is 18 plus 2 pi. And my radius again is 6, and I have to square that. Now, as I was telling you guys, that looks a little bit like a lot, but you're just gonna punch that into your calculator exactly how it looks. So we're gonna go 2 times pi again, we get by going second up arrow, and then times 6 times 18 plus 2 times pi again we get with second up arrow times 6 squared, and when I hit enter, that is my answer. Did you guys get 904.78? Okay, so this one is 904.78, and that is going to be in square feet. Now, generally the volume is even easier. It's a shorter formula. So we have that. Now let's go ahead and do our volume. And the volume formula is right here. It is pi r squared h. Okay? So we go pi, our radius is 6 squared, and our height is 18. Okay? So now let's go ahead and type that into our calculator. And we're going to do pi by going second up arrow times 6 squared times 18. Did you guys get 2035.75? Yeah. So 2035.75, that is our volume, and that is going to be in cubic feet. So it's going to be feet cubed. Okay. Questions on either of those? All right. Now let's go to our last one, which is on the last page here. Well, that's interesting. For some reason, I don't have the last page, so give me 1 second to grab that. Oh, I get it. It's down not below, right? So it's down right here. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we're gonna do a cone, and the formulas are right here. And the first thing that I'm gonna do, this happens to be kind of a smushed cone because I always take these diagrams and like copy and paste them. And it looks like it's distorted from me doing that. But this is a circular base, it's supposed to be, so that is a cone. And then this 15 is your radius of that circular base. And then which one would be your normal height h? Would it be the 8 or the 17? 8, very good. And then 17 is slanted, so that's your slanted height, okay? So again, we're just gonna write this formula down. So I'm gonna do surface area is pi r slant height plus pi r squared. So we're gonna go pi, my radius is 15, my slant height is 17, plus pi, and then my radius is 15 squared. Okay, so now if I go to my calculator and try to type that in, okay, I'm going to do pi times 15 times 17 plus pi times 15 squared. Did you guys get 1507.96? Okay. 1507.96, and that is in square inches. Okay. And then the last thing we have to do is find the volume of that, and that's shorter. But we do have to use a fraction again, but hopefully you're comfortable with that now. So let's write down our formula. It's 1 1/3 pi r squared h. Okay? Now, the 1/3, we're just gonna keep there. The pi, our radius is the 15, and I'm gonna square that. And my height is gonna be my straight up and down height, which is my 8. Okay, again, when you put that into your calculator, you can go parentheses, 1 divided by 3 parentheses, or if you have the CE version, you can do that fraction by going alpha and then the xt key. So 1/3, I'm gonna use the parentheses, times pi, times 15 squared, times 8. Did you guys get 1884.96? Okay, 1884.96, and that's gonna be in cubic inches. That is your volume, okay? Now, I put your worksheet for today in the weekly snapshot. So can you guys get out your math books? And can you find go to Schoology and then go to our class. And then here's the weekly snapshot, and we're gonna go down to week 5. Okay, and I put the worksheet right here, you guys, where it's what is due. So open that and let me know if you're able to open that. Are you guys able to open it? Yeah? I'm not sure why I'm not right now. You can see it here, but were you able to get it out of there too? Okay, anyway, that is your worksheet. I'm going to write the answers down for it and have it up front. But you're gonna do, I think is it 3 pages? It has how many questions? I can't. 8 questions. So I'm gonna write down the answers so you guys can take a picture of that before you leave today. And then that is your assignment for tomorrow. Sound good? All right.